逆転に次ぐ手、果てしない死闘の果てについに決着が訪れる。
Hello again, everybody. And by everybody, I mean all 5 of you. I am Weakest Reviews, back with another week review. This time, this is a pretty big one for me, I'm not gonna lie. I have been away for a while. I've been kind of trying to take a break, just kind of taking it slow and steady with this YouTube shite. It's going pretty good so far. I mean, easing into it. This boy, first ever unboxing officially, because this guy is sealed, brand new, and I've been kind of itching to get this guy open for this whole time prepping this video. My plan at first was to go through these boys in order, like first form, second form, third form, final, full power. No. Probably not. I'm not going to lie. The first form might be my second least favorite figure. I know. I don't know on hand because I don't have the other figures. First form is not my favorite whatsoever. I think I might like final form slightly less. I just can't really tell until I get the figure. But so far, I think final form would be my least favorite. Oh boy, I can't wait to cut this open and get into it. Once I get him open, I'll go into a little backstory on the character, on this fight, and this moment in the manga/anime. As opposed to my other 3 videos, this lens is new. It's going to look a little different, and if it looks good, I might use this as my regular camera lens. If not, then I'll go back to the other one. I think I'm going to get this guy right open, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys the rotation in and out of the box. You kind of get the gist of what's in here. Most guys aren't going to care about what's on the box. It's what's in the box that matters. So I'm going to cut to that. Let's get this guy out because I just want to get the impressions out of the way. I'll show the accessories like I do normally when I flash the images. It's got fresh plastic for the paint rubs. Oh boy, here we go. All right. Let's start bending her up. He feels good. Again, I don't know if he feels as buttery and smooth as the Super Saiyan Goku, but this so far, not so bad. My favorite thing is the butterfly joints in general for figures, so that's kind of what I gravitate to. Is like when I get the first figure impression, is I just start wiggling these shoulders around, because you want the puffed out look for especially this guy, like Goku does, because you could really get that chest out if you really wanted to, well, just like that. I mean, look at that. Oh my god. What a beefcake. First impression, I think I've heard a couple reviewers say it in my span of watching them. The torso is just so skinny. Waist down is skinny as shit. I think they could have proportioned it a tiny bit bigger as opposed to everything else. That's, I think, it so far for bad impressions, because, oh boy, I'm not feeling too much of bad. Figure-wise, I mean, again, I said I go into a little bit of backstory, so I guess I'll just do it slightly, because the importance of Frieza to me is pretty damn important, story-wise. And this is just biased to person. This is just personal. I mean, I like to understand the figures once I buy them. That's why I want the Namek Saga, is because I just love the Namek Saga when it comes to psychology, character creation, story building. It just does it so well. Not much to say about it. I mean, just a small little rant. Because out of all Goku's enemies, maybe Piccolo being an exception, this is definitely his biggest enemy. Him, and by him, Goku surviving the destruction of Planet Namek is sort of what paved the way into the story of Dragon Ball. So I just love that Frieza is the stem of what we have for the entire story. It just fits so well with his character, and it's sort of the character, like from Kung Fu Panda 2, if you've seen it, you know, like the whole re-sowing your destiny based on you trying to avoid your destiny. I mean, everything plays on it, but that's the only thing that came to my mind, is Shen from Kung Fu Panda. Same thing with Frieza. Him destroying Planet Vegeta is essentially what created the timeline and all this shit for all this Goku and him to conspire. So I love that about Frieza. And that aside, the psychology behind this guy, Toriyama, kind of went hard And most average people probably don't look at the psychological level of a Dragon Ball character because they might not be total fans. But let me tell you, once you dive into the story of Dragon Ball, it's endless. You could just keep going and going. There's so much. And if someone ever says Dragon Ball is cheesy, it's for kids, it has no story, get them out of here. They don't like the show, it's fine. You know, some people could be, you know, I won't use the word, but some people could be how they want to be. It's fine. This form itself is like the latter half of the fight that they have. As I go, I'm just gonna be flashing like scenes of the anime and the accessory parts and stuff. The fight at the later half is so good. It's my favorite part of the fight versus Goku versus Frieza. Goku, oh my god, he finds a strategy, right? He knows that Frieza is becoming weaker, and he knows that this form isn't going to be able to last. He goes for body shots, and I'm talking devastating body shots, all right? He understands that, you know, body shots are a little more important than face shots at this moment. Pause. No diddy. So he just goes crazy with the body shots, and once he realizes he has no energy, Goku up and leaves, all right? He leaves the fight, just says, hey, you know, do better, leaves. Frieza, getting humbled, can't take it. He creates a move similar to the Kienzan, aka the Destructo Disc, and, you know, shoots one at Goku, and then that creates the events to be his demise, because his lack of ki detection is what would ultimately just be his downfall, which is poetic in so many ways. A little bit of understanding of Frieza's character, I think, is important. He's my favorite villain for that reason. I could go on a whole video essay list of reasons why I like Frieza. And, you know, that's just not this kind of video, so I'll leave it pretty cut and dry there. Figure time. I think we're just going to cut into the articulation segment, honestly. I think I'm going to cut camera angles real quick, and we'll do a little articulation segment real quick. This figure does feel very buttery. His proportions, I mean, I would say they look better on camera, but they don't look too much better. I mean, this guy, again, you could kind of see it right here. I mean, the the body is so big compared to his legs, and I think that's my only criticism when it comes to visual impressions. I'm not going to lie, because this shading, right? I mean, you could see it on this camera too, luckily, especially with the lighting, if I just give it a chance. I will probably flash these heads as we go. Not much you would need out of a Frieza figure like this for heads. I mean, they have what you need. All right. Well, they compromised, I realize here, because articulation is more or less this segment right now. First form Frieza, his feet go straight down vertically with the ball joint that it's on. I don't know why they couldn't do that with this figure right here, because it gets stopped pretty soon, right? So here, that's the range of motion on that foot there. It doesn't go down much, and if it does, it's gonna snap right off, just like that. And I'm always down to test the limit of a figure like that, but as long as it snaps right on, and then I knew it did right there in that moment, so I wasn't too scared to press it. So foot articulation, big downside. Proportion was the other. I'm trying to think of any other because I've been trying to play with it as much as I can. Biggest upside to this damn thing is the torso articulation. I mean, look at that. Oh my god, there's gaps. It's so ugly. Shut up. If you can't handle gaps on an action figure, you're just not built for action figures. Just get a statue. Just get a statue. Because in my opinion, like, that's so good. That's the pinnacle of what you would need out of chest articulation. That's huge. The neck, solid. Again, the gap, I don't mind. Some people do. That's their cup of tea, and they could be mad. He hits the head tilt. He could go way back, right? If you wind it up, he's looking straight up. And that is lovely. Buttery. Same thing with the down. Some instances it's kind of different, but with his big gap and like hollow point he has right there, the depth kind of shows well on camera too. His neck and chin just fit right into that groove, and he could look down. You might not see his mouth too well, but he could look right down. His little purple armor, whether it be organic or not, I don't know what it is. it folds slightly. So if you want to push it in this way, it kind of goes outwards towards the camera. So that's good. But it's not too flexible. So you could, I could see someone snapping it or bending it and warping it. So it's pretty good quality. They obviously tried what they could with this figure because of who it is and the importance of Goku versus Frieza, which is why I had this little segment about it, is because this fight in anime history, even, I mean, aside from just Dragon Ball history, anime history, this fight is very, very well received, highly regarded. One of the most talked about fights in anime, that's for sure. And again, as you could see this whole time, I mean, the posing is decent too. I mean, no issues. No pieces falling off as I'm posing. There's no limitations, not even in the legs like I talked about. There's double knees, double elbows. The feet, obviously, like I said, are definitely the biggest downside. I think everything else kind of makes this figure a 10 out of 10. In my opinion, there's just not much to say wrong about this figure. You get so many accessories. You get the tail. You get the hands, which the hands alone are just a plethora of options. You get the Goku faceplate punching, which is the iconic shot of, well, I guess it's not an iconic shot because it's really not. There's so many iconic shots in the Frieza scene. The elbow to the face, it's got that. It's got the screams, it's got the teeth grunts, it's got, again, it's got mainly everything plus some, because the effect is kind of the cherry on top if you don't count the faceplate for Goku. These are very sick. I mean, how could you not be thrilled about getting this figure? I mean, there's not much more to say about this guy. I'm going to go crazy in the posing section because that's a big pinnacle of what I want to do on this review channel. Is I want to have a big segment dedicated to posing. It's not going to be crazy. I might do an excessive amount, but feel free to either skip it, whatever. I just want it to be an option for people that like figure photography. So I'm just kind of gonna put it in there as a little treat for anyone who wants to stick around towards the end of the video and see how well this figure could look in a dynamic environment with photography and image. Yeah, I mean, the 4K images are just, they're gonna speak for themselves with this guy, I could already tell. And I think that's probably all I have to say about this guy. When it comes to uploads, I'm gonna try to keep it a little consistent. I really appreciate any single person that sticks around, especially to hear this sentence right here, because if you're hearing this sentence, then that means you're a real one. And I mean, if you don't, then oh well, because in that case, I'm kind of talking to myself. But I really want to make this a sort of a passion hobby. I don't want it to feel like a job. It's more of just a genuine passion I have for Dragon Ball, and these figures are just a nice cherry on top when it comes to enjoying the whole Dragon Ball experience, because the figure community is just vast and very positive, and I just want to be a part of it. So that's pretty much the main course of action for this channel. I will jump to the photography section here in a moment. I hope you guys enjoyed this full power Frieza review, and I will catch you guys in my next video, whenever that may be.
孫悟空はフリーザにとどめを刺さなかった。それどころか自らの気を分け与え命さえ救った。
俺は宇宙一なんだ。だから貴様はこの俺の手によって死ななければならない。殺されるべきなんだ。